Welcome to Retirement GPS, navigated by Synergy, your roadmap to a secure and confident retirement. Each week, we explore strategies, stories, and planning frameworks designed to help you navigate the complexities of life after work. From tax planning to investments, income strategies to risk management, our goal is to give you the clarity and confidence you need to make informed decisions. But retirement isn't just about the numbers. It's also about lifestyle, purpose, and peace of mind. We're here to guide you through both the financial details and the personal dimensions of this next chapter. Let's chart today's course.
Hello, and welcome back to our Retirement GPS podcast. This is episode 19, and we're excited to share with you our philosophy on setting goals for 2026. I'm here with my co-host and associate planner, Zane Belsack. Hey, Zane.
Hey, Ryan. It's great to be here. I really am excited to set the course for 2026.
Yeah, it's amazing to think how fast 25 went, right?
Exactly. Time flies when you're having fun.
It flies when you're having fun. And here's my hope for you is that 2026 flies really fast because that means you're having a lot of fun. And that's what we want to think about is before we know it, we're going to be sitting here and talking about how fast 2026 went, right? Every year seems to go faster than the previous one. 2026 is going to come and go before you know it. And what do we want to have accomplished? Do we want to be better off than we are today at the end of 2026? And I hope the answer is yes. So when we're looking at the end of 2026, we want to decide, hey, what is it that we want to have accomplished? Now, we all know the New Year's resolution that comes along. You almost can't help but feel it. That demarcation on New Year's Eve, when the clock strikes midnight, we all toast to champagne. And the next year, in this case 2026, is nothing but opportunity ahead of us. And we say, this year I'm going to take advantage and utilize this potential, this opportunity that I have to do something great, to do something new, to lose some weight, to save more money, to take all those trips I wanted to take, to get that promotion at work I've wanted, to start that business I've always wanted to start. This is the year. Then what tends to happen at the end of those years when we set those goals?
What tends to happen by February is nothing tends to happen by February.
Yeah, it's a great point. Not only is the weather terrible, but we mostly have dropped our goals entirely.
So do it next year.
Yeah, exactly. I was very excited when the ball dropped and it struck midnight and I had that champagne in hand. But now it's February and I actually should have been doing work for the last 30 days, 31 days, and I haven't really done much. So already right off the bat, we get depressed, we get disappointed, and we drop our goals. It's why gym memberships spike the first week or two of January, and then you go, and I personally, as somebody who goes to the gym pretty regularly, I get very frustrated when I try to go in January because you can't get any equipment. Everybody's there. But now I go this time of year, which right now as I'm recording this, it's mid-November. I walk in and the gym's empty. It's great.
No, I can relate to. My gym is always empty in November, but come January, things are going to change.
Things are going to change. It'll all be different. There'll be a different Ryan in 2026. What we want to do is put a framework around setting goals. So you don't just arbitrarily set New Year's resolutions. We're going to really focus, of course, on financial goals because that's what this is, a financial podcast, a podcast around retirement. And we're going to use our God's framework, goals, opportunities, dangers, and strengths to make sure that we think through and we're intentional, deliberate about what we want to accomplish and carving out the time to do it. So it's not just words, it's actions. Actions are really the key, right? We can all say on December 31st or January 1st, next year I will ... And that's good. I do believe that setting a goal is half the battle because if you don't know where you're going to get to, there's not a good chance of you getting there. Or there's a good chance you're going to get somewhere you don't want to.
This is me personally. I like to set detailed goals. And in my opinion, the earlier the better. If you're sitting there on January 1st setting a goal for January 2nd, you might not be as inclined to do it if it's not so detailed.
Yeah, I agree with you. And being detailed means that you're clear, right? You can't really lay out detail in a goal unless you're clear about it. And the more clarity you have in your goal, it's starting out in a long journey, but not really knowing where you're going. If we're starting 2026 and we don't have goals, we're just meandering along the map, right? We're going to end up somewhere. We know we're going to end up somewhere at the end of 26, but will we like where we end up? We don't know because we weren't intentional about it. So setting the goal, being clear about it, as Zane mentioned, which is a great point, really just makes us intentional about our direction. Now, Intentionality is, in my opinion, half the battle. The other half is actually walking the journey and walking on the map to start to head towards that objective. And we're going to bring those together today. Specifically, we're going to talk about our financial goals and what do we want to think about. As you're listening to this podcast, you still have time before 2026 hits, before that ball drops, that you'll be able to start laying out what is it I want 26 to be about on the financial side. I'll let you handle your other life goals, spend more time with your kids, exercise more, do more travel. Those are all goals that you may want, and those are great. Those are important goals to set, but we're going to focus today on financial goals. So let's talk a little bit about our God's framework and setting goals. The first thing we want to do is really think about the time frame that we have. We have a year, right? So what are goals that we could actually lay out on the financial side that we could accomplish in a year? And those may be goals, anything from I want to build an emergency reserve to a certain level. Right now, my emergency reserve is $50,000. It's a little bit lighter than I'd want it to be. I want to build it to 60 or 70. It may be I want to pay off some debt. I have a little more debt than I wanted through the holidays, and I want to get that paid off. It may be I want to take that trip of a lifetime that I've always wanted to take and really never kind of had the gumption to book and to get set up. I do say that even though it's not a financial goal, it is a financial goal because you have to pay for it. So we got to figure out where we're going to pay for it. Those are the types of goals that we want you to start brainstorming out, laying out, and don't really get caught up in thinking about them. Just lay out ones that you think might fit for you.
And I think another good goal is something like a home renovation. That's a financial goal. It's more so about your homes, but you still have to pay for it. And the real direction of the goal is what exactly are you renovating? And with your family trip, where are you going? Are you going down the street? Because if that's the case, that's not going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, and your point is a good one because home renovation is fantastic, but let's be clear about it. Let's be specific about it, right? Let's figure out if we do want to redo our kitchen. Now, you may not be the one in control of that. It may be you and a spouse, but at least start laying it out and saying, I want blue countertops and I want stainless steel appliances all throughout that are either Whirlpool appliances or Viking appliances. It's your goal. Then you can mesh your goal with others and say, does this make sense to you? And you adjust accordingly. But being clear, being specific, being measurable. What does it take to accomplish this goal? And in financial terms, it tends to be relatively easy. If I say I have $50,000 in my emergency reserve and I want to get it to 60, it's a very measurable metric, right? It's not hard to know if I open my savings account if there's $60,000 in there or not. It's either a yes or no answer. Other things may be a little more intangible because they may be things like I want to spend more time with my loved ones and I need money to do that because I need to travel to see them. Okay, how much is more time? Do you want to spend an extra week? Do you want to spend an extra 5 weeks? Do you want to spend 6 months? Being specific about that so that we can measure that is really important. And then put your why behind each goal. So after you lay out the goals that are important to you, put your why behind them and say, why do I want this? Make it very emotional. People tend not to get excited or feel passionate about a logical goal. I don't really feel excited about getting my emergency reserve from $50,000 to $60,000 this year, even though I know it's important. Even though logically I know it's important, I don't tend to get very excited about it. Why? Because it's not emotional to me. But lay out in your goal setting exercise, why do I want to do this? What is the benefit of it? And you may start to lay out, it will help me sleep better at night. It will help me not stress about money more. Things that are very emotional that you hadn't even realized were affecting your health and your life and making you feel happier. Why is it important to you to remodel your kitchen and do that home improvement you've been wanting to do? Because we can host holidays with my family, and my family is the most important thing to me. So having a redone kitchen, a beautiful kitchen that we can cook in is going to be really important to us. Make it meaningful. Make it emotional. Once we have all of our goals, and we've laid them all out, I think what you should probably do is go through and scrub each of those goals to say, am I really going to work to accomplish these goals? Is it too many? You might have 15 things listed that you want to do, and you might say, do I really want to do all of these this year? Because if you can bump one or two or more to the following year, because they're just not that urgent to you, they're just not that pressing, and we need to reseal the driveway, right? You might put that as a goal. It's hard to put an emotional value on that, right?
I need it.
See that driveway getting resealed? Did I start to tear up? I finally did it after all these years. Now, it's very tough to put an emotional meaning behind it, but by having a practical goal like that, and maybe you say, the driveway's actually fine, I really don't need it this year, but next year, I'll just bump that to next year. We want to hone in on the list of things we absolutely want to work to accomplish this year. Then we're going to prioritize them. So what is the most important thing that you want to get done? And it's hard for people to understand when setting goals. If you have 5 or 6 goals, it's going to be difficult for you to say, if I only accomplish one, that's enough. But if that one is important enough and meaningful enough, just accomplishing that one goal alone may be enough. When we sit down at Synergy and we set our goals for the year, we call them OKRs, objectives and key results. And we set 3, but we always have one, the one we call the most crucial. And if we accomplish that one OKR, then we've had a successful year. And I want you to think about that with your goals. What is the one goal that you would look back and say, boy, if I do this one thing financially, it would be a successful year. I would call this a win. Give yourself a W, because you did something great. Don't give yourself a loss because you only accomplished 4 out of your 5 goals. And the last goal was really not that meaningful to you anyway because it was down your list. So prioritize them. Make sure that you're working to at least accomplish that first goal one at a time. That's the goal setting part. Now we're going to look at the dangers, opportunities, and strengths. So let's lay out what are some of the roadblocks? What are the dangers that could derail my progress if they're left unaddressed? What are the hurdles? We actually call it the crux in our business. So in mountain climbing, if you're to look at a climb, and that climb may be climbing Mount Everest, there's something that's called the crux. The hardest part of the climb that has to be figured out, that has to be overcome in order to make the climb successful. And there may be multiple hard parts of the climb, but there's one part that, is just really challenging. We don't exactly know how to overcome it. And that's really where our danger is. That's the crux, is figuring out what is the crux, what is the biggest danger that is going to get in the way that I have to either solve for or I just have to be on the lookout for. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a challenge I have to overcome. Maybe a crux is if the market crashes, it's going to derail my goals. The economy goes south, it's going to derail my goals. Think about that. What are your dangers? Make sure that you lay all of those dangers out and figure out ways to eliminate each. The earlier we can lay out dangers, the more likely we are to be prepared if and when they do come. And I'm going to be honest with you, 9 out of 10 dangers you lay out will not happen, will not come. But if they do, we'll be ready because we'll have anticipated them.
And they also could be personal dangers, such as rising expenses. You might have health issues. Sometimes you're a procrastinator and you're really bad at planning. That's something that we should definitely be in mind of.
Absolutely. And dangers can come from anywhere, but a lot of dangers come from inside, right? And health is a great one. That is certainly a danger that can cause us to derail us from our goals. Next, we want to look at opportunities. What are the opportunities that potentially could work in our favor? What are the things that, if completed, if done and done properly, could really help us towards our goals? Maybe it's that possible promotion at work or the possible raise that we're lined up for. If I'm a salesman, maybe it's this year is going to be the year that I'm going to make those big sales that are going to help me move towards and accomplish my goals. There may be any number of things that are on the agenda that are possible opportunities that can really move us in the direction of accomplishing our goals. As Zane said, they're not always external. Sometimes simply having some clarity on your time and your health and knowing that there's opportunities there, meaning I'm a teacher and I have the summer off. I have a lot of time to work on my goals over the summer. That's a huge opportunity that we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of. And lastly, what are the strengths that we already have that we can leverage towards accomplishing our goals? What are the personal and financial advantages that can make that possible? Maybe we know we're getting an inheritance in March and we laid out our financial goals so that when that inheritance comes, we're ready to start working and executing on those. A disciplined saving habit, that's a strength, right? If I want to grow my emergency reserve from $50,000 to $60,000, $10,000, when I'm disciplined in doing it, maybe all I have to do is sit there and calculate I've got to save roughly $900 a month and set that away every single month until I accomplish the goal. Understanding where your strengths are, how can we leverage those strengths to accomplish those goals is going to be really important. So why does God's work and why does our goal setting strategy work for 2026? Number one, it's far more deliberate, far more intentional than simply getting emotional on midnight on December 31st and just saying, I'm going to lose that 20 pounds I've always wanted to lose. Knowing in advance what really is important and laying that out is what we really feel like is a big game changer, and doing it in advance ahead of time to develop that plan. Number two, Making sure that our strategy is in place, laying out a strategy that will allow us to actually start working towards those goals and carving out the time, the things that we have, the strengths, the opportunities to leverage towards those goals will be really important. And then the balance of logic and emotions. So making sure we have logical goals, but then putting emotions behind them so that we're driven to actually work towards and accomplishing those goals is going to be important. Last thing, before our goals are set, we've now set great goals. We've done a great job of our goal setting process. But we haven't actually executed on anything yet. So the next step is execution. Make sure that you carve out the time to accomplish your goals. I'll use losing weight as an example because that's a very common goal. I know that's not a financial goal, but it's a very common example of somebody that wants to lose weight and set a goal in the new year is to drop pounds or eat healthier. Carve out the time, carve out the strategy of what you will do to accomplish that. And you may say, and by the way, make it realistic. Don't make it unrealistic. The minute you say, I'm going to work out 3 hours a day at the gym every single day for the next 365 days is the day you fail already at doing it because it's not going to happen. And we all know it's not going to happen. So make it a realistic goal. Say to yourself, instead of I'm going to get to the gym every single day, say to yourself, I will get to the gym 5 days a week and work out for at least 30 minutes a day, which is double what I've been doing so far. And the reason why that's realistic is because when things come up and things get tough, you've got some flexibility. You've got the flexibility to not do it. Same thing with your savings goals. Same thing with your trip goals. Come up with ways that you're going to accomplish those goals. Carve out the time and the resources. What am I going to give up to accomplish these goals? So I'm not going to get that latte at Starbucks every day that I've been getting. By the way, I don't know. Starbucks gets such a bad name with their lattes.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Every time a financial planner talks about what am I going to give up, it comes back to Starbucks latte.
It's always just coffee.
Yeah, it's probably the $6 that you have to pay to get it. Maybe I'll give that up so that I can take that vacation that I want to take. What am I going to be doing? Let's lay out our final strategy so we're ready to rock and roll in 2026. Number 1, brainstorm. Lay it all out. Make sure that you know exactly what you want to accomplish on your financial side in 2026. Number 2, review that list and say, what can I bump? What can I move to the new year or to 2027? Because it really isn't that urgent and I'm not going to put the effort behind it. So don't waste your time with goals that you know you're not that passionate about. Number 3, get really clear about those goals. So as Zane said, make sure that they're clear in your mind, detailed in your mind. Make sure they're measurable, right? Make sure then we put some emotionality behind it. Why do I want to accomplish this goal? What does it mean to me more than just hitting a number? Why is it important?
Being intentional with those goals, you would say?
Being intentional, of course, intentional is always a good one for sure. So number 3, once we have our goals laid out, we're going to make sure we design time and resources to accomplish those goals. So if that means I want to build my emergency reserve and add $10,000, I'm going to carve out a certain amount of money every month. And I'm going to make sure I'm sacrificing this and this to have that money so I don't wake up in March and say, I don't have the money. Something came up I didn't realize. So I can accomplish those goals. Last, go through your DOS exercise. Go through your dangers, your opportunities, and your strengths. It gives you an opportunity to really see what could derail you from your goals, to prepare for that. What opportunities that if they do come to fruition can actually shoot me closer to my goals very quickly. And what are the strengths that I should leverage to make sure I incorporate into my plan to be successful? Once you do that, you put your goals to work and be persistent. Keep moving forward. You'll get there. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck in 2026. As we've said before, if you like what you hear in our podcast, please make sure that you like us so that more people will know about us. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you're getting a new episode every Tuesday, wherever you listen to podcasts. And lastly, please make sure that you keep learning and keep planning.
Thank you for listening to Retirement GPS, navigated by Zenergy. To explore today's topic further, visit our blog mile markers at zenergyretirement.com/blog, where we offer detailed strategies, examples, and downloadable tools to support your retirement journey. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook at Zenergy Retirement Planning for weekly insights, checklists, and planning reminders. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with someone planning for their future. Until next time, keep navigating toward a confident retirement. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended as investment, legal, or tax advice. Listeners should consult their own financial, tax, and legal advisors before making any decisions. Synergy Retirement Planning is a registered investment advisor located in Red Bank, New Jersey.